It's therefore I have been considering Avram bin Moshe to be little sensible until I watched his video on reincarnation. That is when I came to know that Avram is zero in the brain. There is not a single iota of sense in the medulla oblongata of Avram bin Moshe. The name is Uti Daawah. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and also on TikTok. The name remains Uti Daawah on all these platforms. Share the video and follow us, inshallah.
Me person explain.
Aha. Nti oji reincarnation di.
Me gidia I believe.
Okay.
Aha. And a reincarnation quite is proven. Reincarnation it makes sense more than it is appointed or to man wants to die after death judgment. What can say life ye ba akope. Na ye ba wiase we once na nyankopon judge ya. Then God is not a just God. Only me dey excellent. Ye was school. Na ye kire ya ade a. Chicha o kire ye nyina ade pepepe ana o kire obi ade si na obi.
O kire nya pepepe.
Ye makwan pepepe ana ebi makwan je bi.
Ye class na
ye class ye nyina na ye makwan. Ye nyina the same textbook. Ye nyina the same syllabus. Ye nyina wie school pepepe. That means equal time, equal opportunity. And until we are I was say ye fail ana mebo. Excellent. E wi ase aye ba no. Ye nyina ye nyansa e ye pe ana obi nim nyansa se ne bi.
Obi nim nyansa se obi.
Ahofe e ye pe ana obi difference wo. Height difference wo. Ana mebo. Good. Obi kwatum be so rich family. Na obi akoto poor family mu. Ana mebo. Bill Gates na nyankopon atama abofra baako. E de na koma Bill Gates. E de na ma Samuel Jan. E de na ma Nanado. Se mo abofra we mbra no beto sikem na wo enjoy. Na the same nyankopon fa abofra baako. Na maame no te choko na de odi beto aduane edi kura ne wa nya bi. Na nyankopon de sa abofra no ekoto choko ni ne yam. Na choko ni abofra no e dane am robber in the future. Na Bill Gates ba na dane am robber. Na the same nyankopon ne frem koda bi ni we say mu nyina mo mbra be bomu ba wi ase. Adan na adane krofo kobo nsam jemu a pa cho oye just. Secondly,
according to Avram bin Moshe, reincarnation is true, and reincarnation makes much more sense because the concept of it is ordained for every man to die once and after death there is judgment doesn't make sense because of, according to him, some people are beautiful than the others are rich than the others are stronger than the others are born from rich homes, others are born from poor homes, and so that according to him there is no fairness, and so reincarnation makes much more sense. But this is a simple question to Avram bin Moshe. Now before I ask him this question, let me trash reincarnation within a twinkling of an eye. Now if reincarnation makes sense, then obviously there shouldn't be population growth. The population should remain the same because it is the same people who die and it is the same people who return. And so therefore, the population is not supposed to what? Increase. And it is also not supposed to decrease either because when they die, they have to reincarnate. So if 10 people die and they reincarnate, the population must remain the same. It shouldn't grow up. And so when we find population increasing, it makes reincarnation senseless, and reincarnation does not make sense. That's it. If 10 people die and 10 people, if the population is 100 and 10 people die out of the 100, we are left with 90. So when those 10 people reincarnate back, the population then becomes 100 the same. It doesn't have to be more than that. And for the past 10 years, we've seen population increasing and increasing. So Avram bin Moshe isn't reasoning at all to even say reincarnation makes sense. It's illogical. This is an established proof that reincarnation doesn't make sense. That's one. Point number two is with regards to someone being beautiful than the other, others being handsome than the other, others being richer than the other. Let me take Avram bin Moshe to a simple logic over here. He claims he has sense and he's been doing this. He's been doing this. Well, there is no sense in whatever you say. Let me ask him a few questions with regards to his reincarnation theory. Now, the engineer that invented Kia Sorento, let me use Kia company, has a big car, which is Kia Bongo. Then he has Kia Sorento, he has Kia Pride, he has Kia Morning, he has Kia Remote. The question is he a fair engineer? If we are about to use his Avram bin Moshe's logic or his yardstick to rule this thing out, we will say the one that made Kia engine or Kia car, who molded Kia car, is actually not fair to Kia machinery, because he made some remote, he made some big cars, he made some small cars, he made some bigger than the other. It's not being fair. But reasoning and logics should tell you that it is he created all of them, or he made all of them to serve a purpose. So if God made you very beautiful, he created you for a particular purpose. And the one that is ugly is also serving a particular purpose. And the one that is a dwarf, or the one that is short, also is serving a particular purpose. The cripple is serving a particular purpose. That is not unfairness. That is actually fairness. It depends on the purpose you are given. And you are supposed to know that purpose. That's all. Aha. It is part of his fairness that he made some tall, some short, some big, some small. That is part of his fairness. Exactly. With regards to others being rich and others also being poor, there is a famous hadith in Hadith al-Qudsi where it says, among my slaves, there are those for whom nothing is better than riches or richness. And if I were to impoverish them, they will be corrupted. And among my slaves, there are those for whom nothing is better than poverty. And if I were to make them rich, they will be corrupted. I manage the affairs of my slaves. I am indeed the all aware of their circumstances. Meaning, there are some people who deserve poverty. But you might think poverty is a curse. No. In fact, poverty may be for some people better than richness. You understand? There are people who are so rich to the extent that they come and they wish they are poor. There are those people. Money is not everything. People who begin to think money is everything actually has no sense. There are some people whom health is much more beneficial to them than even riches. So Allah Azza wa Jalla in his wisdom knows what is much more beneficial to you than yourself. For example, for instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me. I am 5.7 to 5.8 feet tall. That is the best feature he will give me. The one that made the one that Allah made him 7 feet is how it suits him also. I am here to serve a purpose. He is also there to serve a purpose. You failing to understand the purpose of your life doesn't mean God has been unfair to you. It is, you are supposed to understand your purpose of this life. Just like the way the engineer who made Kia company or who founded Kia company made Kia Sorento, made Kia Bongo, made Kia Tipa car, and then came as low as making a Kia key. And he made all of that for a particular purpose, and he did not cheat on any of them. You understand? And if he is about to judge these tools and instruments and all these items he has created, he will judge them according to their functions that he had created them on. So similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he had created you poor, he won't ask you why you weren't rich. He won't ask you. He made you poor. If he had created you a sick patient, he won't ask you what did you use your strength for, knowing that you are a sick patient. So Allah will judge you according to your own deeds, and that is the most fairness ever. He won't judge you because you are poor. He will ask you, why weren't you rich? And if you are rich, he won't ask you, why weren't you poor? That is injustice. But he will ask you based on the situation and the condition that he placed you in. That is where he is going to judge you from. You understand? So Abraham and Moshe need to understand these petty things. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter number 16 verse 97 that Man amila salihan min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'minun falanuhyiyannahu hayatan tayyiba وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. He says, whosoever act righteously, whether a man or a woman, ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنْثَى, a male or a female, وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ, and he or she is a believer, فَلَنُهِيَنَّهُ, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely give him life. Hayatan tayyiba, a life that is very good. وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ, then Allah will surely pay him ajrahum, their reward, bi ahsan, to the best, makenu yamalun, to of what they used to do. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pay you, whether you are a male or a female, everything that you used to do. Over here, your riches is not even counted yet. Your health is not even counted yet. Your character is not even counted yet. Righteousness does not always require riches. It does not always require strength. It does not always require power. In fact, sometimes even a smile to your brother is also righteousness, unless you don't know. So the logic of Abraham and Moshe that reincarnation makes much more sense does not make sense. And the second aspect of the this, why did God created this one beautiful than the other, also doesn't make sense. It depends on the kind of purpose you are created for. Even mosquitoes were created for a purpose. They serve as a food for the spider. Spiders serve as a food for something else. That is how it is. Everything was created for a purpose, and you are to oblige to that purpose that you were created for. That's why you will be judged according to your deeds, not according to everyone's deeds. That's the logic. When you listen to Abraham and Moshe, he is also claiming that the tendency or the chances for a poor person's daughter or son to become an armed robber is higher than that of the rich. This is never true. It is never true. We've seen rich people's children who have grown up to be lunatics. They have grown up to be mad people. They have grown up to be armed robbers. They've turned out to be criminals. And we've seen poor people's children growing up to be responsible people in their family. A perfect example is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, whose parents were poor, that he had to rear chicken until it grew up and used that to feed himself and took care of himself at school. I've seen the likes of Dr. Papa Zubairu, who used to carry cocoa and sell kose and stuff like that in order to feed himself. We've seen a lot of heroes from zero to hero, you understand. So it is not true that the fact that one's parent is rich, the person will grow up to be responsible. That's never true. Who told Abraham and Moshe so? Life determines on how you live it. It doesn't matter whether you are from poor family or you are from rich family. Inshallah.
Endly, age, you know, we are age. Obia be we are you say life here once, Okope Yakojajo. Nipanitini we are say, O dim kwasiasem 100 years, one some yame. Onye 100 years, no, and I say, somebody made Jimmy Ache, 100 years, the Yaman Sakra, and no Sakrai. Or Sakra, 2 months, and a car born, and we, according to Christianity, or back heaven and uncle heaven.
I such an idea.
And your wab of Frebian so, or no so near, only 16 years, 17, 18. I was starting to say, brabo, or ye massam cacrana car born or pine, and we.
We did one idea, or carbon
subject. Now, Judgment Day, now copa Fred, you now 120 no.
We did one and sir.
Now, I wouldn't win 18 years no throw Sakobun Saujama. Question Ben Abisano.
So, according to Abraham and Moshe's second logic, he is claiming that because some people grow much more older than the other, so it gives him the door, the yardstick to criticize the judgment of God, because he thinks we all have to grow at same age. Then God will have to judge us according to that. No, that is why there are ranks in heaven in first place. If one lives a life of evil life till he's 90, and he repents and died tomorrow, and God forgives him and gives him Jannah. Note, the Jannah depends, his deeds will depend the kind of Jannah he will go. You understand? God in his wisdom will give him a Jannah which will not be equal to the one that lived 90 years and died righteous person. They will not be equal because the status will not be the same. He lived a pure life till he was 90, and so his rank should be higher. The one that got 60 over 100 isn't same as the one that got 99 over 100, and the one that got 100 over 100 are not judged the same, even though they all passed. Now, second, let's go back to those whose age were very limited. The engineer who invented iPhone had made iPhone 4, iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3. Name those iPhones. iPhone 4, iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 8, iPhone 9, no, I don't know the iPhones. It has been continuing in series. Whether there are some or there are not, I don't even know. But it has gone through series. Note that this does not mean that he did not do iPhone. It wasn't justice or fair to iPhone 4 or iPhone 5. The fact that iPhone 14 Pro Max does better things than iPhone 4 doesn't mean it wasn't fair with iPhone 4. He created iPhone 4 for a particular purpose. Now, let's come to those with lesser age who did not live up to 120, 130 ages. Let's come to their logic. God in his wisdom will judge you according to the period that you lived. And even if you committed evil, your punishment with the one that did same evil with you, that lived for 90 years and you live for 16 years, will not be the same. It will not be the same. And if you are juvenile, then God will not even take you to hellfire until you are matured. If you are a juvenile, God doesn't judge you when you are not up to the adolescence age. That's one. And if you are 16 and you have already reached your adolescence age, then God will judge you that at age 16, what did you do with your life? He won't judge you concerning 90 years period. No, that small period that you lived will judge you concerning that. What did you do with it? So that is why when you are writing certain papers in classrooms, certain papers require 30 minutes to write. Others require 80 minutes to write. Others require 120 minutes to write. The one that is requiring 30 minutes or 25 minutes to write, the examiner that made us write a full paper and used 30 minutes to write that full paper will mark us according to the minutes and the type of questions he asked us within that minute. Similarly, if God gave you 16 years, he gave you 20 years, he will judge you according to the minutes that he gave you. He won't, your punishment and that of the one that lived for 120 years will not be the same. And your test and that of 120 years will also not be the same. You understand? And when Abraham claims that we all have to be the same in a school, we all have to write the same paper. No, we don't write the same papers at school. Sometimes you will see we are all writing maths. Others will be writing e-maths as well, depending on the purpose and the reasons why you are at school. So Abraham, you are not reasoning. You're not reasoning. Reincarnation doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. Not a single place that reincarnation makes sense. It doesn't make sense. The all-knowing God knows that you will die once, and after that there is judgment. I always ask you this: if you've reincarnated and you are not able to unite your poor orphan that you left, the poor orphan, your poor widow, and you couldn't go back to her, you left her suffering, and you don't even remember your family, then there is no need for any reincarnation. It does not even tally with sense, nor does it tally with logic. Again, you have been doubting the Supreme Being. So which Supreme Being is out there? Which Supreme Being is out there determining when you will be reincarnated and how you should be reincarnated? Third one, if reincarnation is real, then how long does it take for a person to be reincarnated? And who takes that decision? Yeah? Why the population increasing? Why shouldn't the population be stable? You are not communicating, bro. You are not communicating. You are not making any sense. Reincarnation doesn't make sense. It is ordained for every man to die once, and after that there is judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.